Hello and welcome to Fierce Momentum. This is Frederick John bringing you another weekly video for aspiring web developers. This week we're taking a look at Dash. Now Dash is only available for OS X, but if you are using a Mac, I highly recommend you check it out. You can use it for free or you can purchase for $25, or you can download it and begin using it for free. If you don't want to purchase it right away, you want to try it out, you'll be able to use it. As you can see here, there's a little message that says, please wait. And if you don't mind the slight annoyance, I think it's a 10-second wait or something like that, you can then continue to use it for free. It's always a good idea to purchase it if you do like it and support the developers. Now, let's take a look at what Dash is. It's an API documentation, browser, and code snippet manager. Now I'm going to explain what that is and why it's going to be extremely useful to you and why you're going to love it once you start using it. To get started, let's think about what Dash is. It's a way to organize all of your documentation for the technologies that you use. So as you're developing a website or application and you're using CoffeeScript and Bootstrap and you're using maybe Backbone or something like a task automator like Gulp, NoSQL database you're using MongoDB, and you want to see the persistence methods and the query methods, you don't have to have different tabs open in your browser with the different documentation. You can have one central location that's going to hold all of your documentation, and it automatically looks for updates, and any of the documentation that needs to be updated is updated automatically for you. So if we go to Dash here, you could take a look at some of the documentations that I have, some of the doc sets, and if I wanted to check out Gulp, like I said, there's a short waiting period, a little bit of an annoyance, but after that it's going to bring up the documentation for Gulp. So if I'm getting started with Gulp, the documentation right in front of me here. If I'm using Ruby on Rails and I'm developing, I can get all my Rails guides right from Dash. Everything here, you could see I have Ruby documentation, Devise, React. So if I'm building a website and I forget what some of the fonts are for Font Awesome, I have access to them right here. So it's very easy to locate where information is, which is so important as you're developing and as you're building sites. Referring to documentation is very, very common, and having a place, a program that stores everything together for you and automatically keeps it updated is a big advantage to have. Another feature of Dash is annotation. If we're developing a Rails application and we're having some trouble remembering how the resourceful routes work, we can go into our Ruby on Rails guide and we can find what we're looking for. Okay, resources, photos. That's going to give us our 7 resourceful routes, and now we need to remember this. So what we could do is we can go ahead and add an annotation to our routes, and we could call it resourceful routing, and we could just fill in resources and then whatever our model would be. For example, actually we'll put it in quotes, model. So now this way we know what this is going to do. Now I could save my annotation here. So as I'm going through, I'm reading or I'm learning how to use Rails, as I'm going through I can create annotations. So when I come back here, it's going to save that and I'll remember, and I could just easily look it up. Oh yeah, that's right, resourceful routing, resources, photos, or whatever the case may be. Okay, next feature. besides having all the doc sets, updating them to the latest versions and being able to annotate the doc sets with your own highlighting and comments and everything, there is some integration that I'd like to show you. They have plugins for basically every text editor. I like to use Brackets, Atom, Sublime Text. I know some other people like to use TextMate, Emacs, Vim, maybe Xcode. You could see JetBrains has all of their IDEs here. So essentially, whatever you're using for your text editor, you're going to be able to integrate Dash. And what that integration looks like is pretty neat. If we go home here, now we're in the Dash application. This is the home screen of the Dash application. You can see it has download doc sets, manage doc sets, create and search profiles, and then a user guide. This is the download section of Dash, where you can choose which doc sets you'd like to download. These are the doc sets that I currently have downloaded that I've used recently. You can see here Emmet, CSS, Sass, and I'll show you quickly why I have some of those doc sets here. If you take a look at Emmet, Emmet is a very, very useful plugin. It's a package for Atom, Brackets, or Sublime. You add it in, and then you type in something that looks like this, nav ulli, and you're going to get this out. Okay, so it's going to save you a lot of time typing because you're able to use these short codes, and it's going to expand out when you tab to have everything here. So you could type something that looks like this, and what you're going to get as the result is this. So as you can imagine, that's going to save a lot of typing time. I sometimes forget what it is, and I need a little refresher. So you can just double check what the the Emmet the doc set. You just double check what is available to use. And I've actually learned a lot as well, just reading through some of these. I would say, oh, I didn't know that I could do something like this, input month. I didn't know that that was available. I've never seen anyone do that. Well, that's a good way to learn too, is by reading the doc sets. So these are what I have, but if you look out here, the downloads, there are a ton of downloads, like we were looking at earlier with the available doc sets. They're all right here. All you have to do is click download, or if you have something that you no longer want, you could just uninstall it right from here. And if we go down, we could see Ember and Elixir, Drupal. Like we looked at earlier, all the different doc sets are here. jQuery, sure, why not? Maybe I can learn some more about jQuery that I didn't know before. jQuery UI, I think that's also an excellent doc set. I'll download that one too. So, and they just take a few seconds to download, depends on your internet connection and things of that. Okay, doc set installed. jQuery 3.1.1 doc set has successfully been installed. That's great. Now, from the home page, you can see manage doc sets, profiles, and user guide. There's this little option here. It's going to show snippets. Okay, now you can create as many snippets as you want. I only have some here just for demonstration purposes. Here's one that I made called profile, and the snippet abbreviation is profile menu. So when I type profile menu, I should be able to expand it out to this little profile menu that I've created here. So what you'd want to do is go to your text editor. Oh, and look at that, a little message in my text editor for the viewers. That's just a little bonus you get with this video. What are we in? Sublime Text? All right, so we need to install package. And we're going to install dash doc. So we just, if whatever text editor you're using, you find the packages or the plugins or whatever they're called. Dash doc I want to install. It's going to say dash doc successfully installed. Flash down there for a second. And now that that's installed, I should be able to just type profile dash menu. And you can see here, it's going to give me that automatically. So this here is just a little menu that says home, messages, friends, log out. And that's pretty neat. You can come up with as many as you want. You want to add another one, you can add it from clipboard. You can just make a new snippet up. Snippet abbreviation. You could say, let's say, maybe something that you do often, image gallery. that might be a good option for a snippet abbreviation. And then your code goes here, and then you're gonna put a tag on it, and that's it. Gallery of images. Those are 3 different tags, that's a terrible idea to use it like that. Image gallery, and then you can use it right in your text editor, as you can see. So maybe to make it even more clear, I'll open up a new tab. I would like to use that, and you can see snippet pasted, code goes here. I don't have highlighting because I'm on a plain text document, but if I change it to HTML, you can see the highlighting, which that's not actual code, but very useful to have this integration between your Dash and your IDE or your text editor. As you can imagine, there's a lot that you can do. I just wanted to show you with some simple examples. Okay, and the last feature that I want to demonstrate real quick is the ability to search through your doc sets. Not just searching through Gulp or MongoDB or one doc set at a time, but you can actually search through all of your doc sets very simply by typing in a search item. Let's say that it's going to be something like link. It will show us all of the places where link is used in these doc sets. Now, this could be a little bit overwhelming and perhaps is not very useful because of the large number of results that are returned. So what we can do is create profiles, which are going to be based on certain collection of doc sets. For example, one profile that I have is a Rails development. So Rails development Control R is going to give me these doc sets. If I wanted to use the default, it's going to give me all the doc sets. So as you can see here, I can switch between my Rails profile and all of the doc sets, the default profile. So I can easily switch between Rails and the default profile. Now if I'm in Rails and I want to search for link to methods, that's going to come up all of the places where link to is used in these doc sets which are applicable to development. Now you can see here, link to body URL HTML options. Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And now what are we going to do now that we found that? Kind of bringing everything together, we can add an annotation, okay, and then we can add simply go ahead and add the snippet. Most useful way of utilizing the Dash program is to collect all of your doc sets. You know, when you have something that you want to search through, you search for that, and then when you know how to use it, for example, we're going to do something like this, put it right on the clipboard using Control-C. Okay, once it's on the clipboard, we can go back to our snippets, use link to, create right from the clipboard. We have our link to snippet here, and we can use that let's get a new page open. We can use that right in our profile. In this video, we looked at the application Dash, how we can store all of our doc sets in one central location, how Dash automatically updates the doc sets as new versions come out. We looked at how we can annotate our doc sets by adding annotations and then by also adding snippets. We explored how we can integrate Dash with our IDE. There's a ton of other features that Dash comes with. What we explored was how we can download the doc sets, how we can set up our snippets and integrate it with our text IDE. So hopefully you guys will get a lot of use out of this application. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything to download. As long as you don't mind waiting the 10 seconds, you can then use it without being interrupted. If you do want to purchase it, you could purchase it for $25. I'm going to put the link to the website in the description. Hopefully you like this video. Subscribe. Keep watching. Stay tuned. We'll have a video next week.